The guy who was with me at the position when I got wounded, they just beat him with bats and threw him into the pit.
If you don't go on the combat mission, we'll wipe you out. That's how it is. Whatever. If you get killed, I'll just get new guys.
How do you even feel about this happening?
About this command, they should all just be locked up.
In the end, I was the only one who made it out alive. There were 6 of us.
I signed the contract because I knew they'd draft me anyway. I figured I'd serve a year. If I survived, fine. If not, well, that's how it'd be. Then I'd quit after a year. But when my 1-year contract ended, they forced me to stay. They just wouldn't let me leave. That's it. When I signed the contract, they told me, since I was a senior warrant officer, I wouldn't be digging pits. I was supposed to be the sergeant major of a reserve company. They said I wouldn't go to the front at all. That's it. You'll just do this and that. But in the end, they rounded up all the officers, dumped us together, brought us to a field, and sent us straight to Zaporizhia region. That was it.
I got a draft notice, which I refused. I didn't show up at the enlistment office, but later I signed the contract. Basically, they could have jailed me, so I had to sign. One time my radio wasn't working at the position, so I left without orders to get communications gear. In the end, they took my phone and threatened to send me, as they put it, riding the armor without rifles or body armor, one way only. Or I could just go on foot.
I signed my contract on February 7th, 2024. Then I flew to the city of Sakhalin, or it's an island, spent 2 months training there. Then they kitted us out, put us on a plane, and sent us to Ukraine.
I didn't get any training because I had a seizure. Let's put it that way.
So you've had this illness for a long time?
I was born with it. I went through the medical exam while sick, and they didn't care at all.
And they sent you with epilepsy?
They didn't care. They were even drafting alcoholics. Can you believe it? I had a seizure at the training ground, and they put me under observation with the doctors. The seizures lasted about 5 days. Stress, nerves. When I came to, my phone was gone from my pocket. It had SIM cards in it. I went to sort it out, asked for permission to speak. What the hell? Where's my phone? They said, we have everything. I told them, then give it back. I'm fine now. They said, no, you're not getting anything back. I said, I'll file a complaint with the military prosecutor. They just said, you won't have time for this. And they were right. I didn't.
How did the commanders treat you in general?
I never even saw them. Some guy would show up saying, I'm Colonel so-and-so, I'm this, I'm that. And I'd have no idea who he was. Another time, a man called Yarek shows up. I'm Major so-and-so, your battalion's political officer. I'd never seen anything like it. 3 days later, another Yarek turns up, also a political officer, just like that.
I barely saw the commanders. Only the platoon commander. I almost never saw the company commander.
Were you pressured into anything? What kind of coercion did they use?
Well, I could leave some things unsaid, but they beat me, sure. But at least they didn't cut off my fingers, thank God. Then they just grabbed me, packed me up, took me near Vovchansk, and sent me to assault positions with a battalion of convicts. And I knew. Once you get sent to that unit, that's the end of the line. There's no coming back. I knew it meant death.
Sometimes they'd beat up guys, throw them into the pit, and still send them to storm positions afterwards.
You saw that yourself?
Yes, the guy who was with me when I got wounded. They just beat him up with bats and threw him into the pit.
And he survived?
Yeah, 2 weeks later they pulled him out and sent him right back there.
What did he do wrong?
He said his legs were giving out after surgery on his cervical vertebra. They failed him twice. He just physically couldn't reach the position because of this condition where his legs stopped working. So, under threats, they dragged him back, beat him up, and threw him into the pit. And after that, they sent him to the position anyway.
No, I never saw anyone thrown into the pit myself. The only thing was, once I heard someone say, "If you don't go on the combat mission, we'll wipe you out." That kind of thing.
And what happened to those who tried to refuse an order?
If someone refused while still at base, refused to go to the front line or follow an order, they'd film everything and open a criminal case. Such guys would get convicted and handed long sentences.
That's officially. What about unofficially?
Unofficially, they'd just beat you up and send you anyway. Or they'd throw you onto an armored vehicle headed one way only.
It all depends on the commander. If he's decent, the unit's fine. If he doesn't care, he'll just send people to the slaughter, wipe out battalions, and nothing happens to him. He just sits there waiting for some order of courage or whatever. They even sent people on assaults armed only with sticks. I'm serious. A guy's legs messed up from wounds, he says. I'm not going, I can't walk. They'd take him away. Others they'd take just because they flat out said, I'm not going to die, that's it. I'd say around 7 people like that. As for the crippled ones who refused or not, I don't know. But I personally saw about 7 people who just refused to go die. For what? For some scrap of land.
Yeah, there were times we'd be sitting there, they'd gather us before a mission and talk to us. I remember one guy said something, and some commander, can't remember his name, just said, "Yeah, whatever. If you get killed, I'll just get new guys."
Хотел поблагодарить за своевременную явку по повесткам. Хотел вам пожелать хорошей службы, всеми вернуться домой.
I think I was at the warehouse, bringing food for the cooks, when I noticed this guy, maybe 34 years old, tied to a chair. Yeah, he'd been beaten. Not too badly, but there was definitely violence. I was setting a sack down, and he fell to my left, hitting his head against my leg. I helped him up. Then they told him, "Either you go on a combat mission to make up for what you did, or you'll be sent to the pits and prison."
And how do you feel about all this?
About the command? They all should be locked up. Or hell, gather them all, put them in a boat, and sink it somewhere in the middle of the Sea of Azov. That's how disgusting their attitude toward people is. When you're running through a tree line, and they know it's certain death because it's mined, but you still have to run. Just run.
Everyone's just so bitter at the command and the whole situation that in many regiments, and I've talked with guys from different units, people simply don't want to go on assault anymore. Because they're all doomed from the start. Doesn't matter how much armor they bring in, whether it's 3 times a day or once every 3 days, it's a one-way trip. Still, the commanders keep sending people out. Either they beat you up and you go anyway, or they throw you into the pit. You sit there for 2 weeks, and after all the mental and physical abuse, you still go and carry out the order.
Run! I ran through a minefield. Thank God I wasn't blown up. When I made it through the edge of the woods, I saw 2 guys behind me who'd hit mines. They were lying there. Half an hour later, I saw another 2 running. They just keep sending people again and again. I don't see the point. What for? For some worthless scrap of land? There's nothing where they sent us. Just a patch of forest with a cliff. That's it. No factories, no buildings, nothing. I asked, "What's my mission?" They said, "Get to the point." And then what? I got there. "Secure it, guys." I got there, and there were guys lying around, legs blown off, one missing an eye. It was hell. They'd been without water for 13 days, just lying there, sent to slaughter. They couldn't pull back or return to their own positions. I ran into this big trench, clearly a real trench, not a fake one. I jumped in, and a guy ran out. I don't know, maybe he'd been there before us. He said, "Got any grenades?" "I've got 2. I gave him one. He threw it. then just ran off somewhere. I don't know where, just ran. Then fire started from that same trench, at me. So I fired back. They fired, I fired. It went on and on. Then I got hit in the leg, hit in the back, a couple of drones came after me. I started hearing voices speaking Russian. I shouted, "Who's there?" "Friendlies?" They said, "No, not friendlies." Turned out they were border guards. Then we just kept shooting back and forth. I'd lost a lot of blood by then. They probably realized I was out of ammo and just came up to me. "Finish me," I said. "Just don't torture me. Finish me here." They said, "No, we're not going to kill you." They bandaged my head and back, tied me up, and put me in a corner.
All the guys in my group were killed. I just got lost. A drone was tracking me, a Mavic and a bomber drone. They really harassed me. I tried shooting back, but missed every shot from 30 meters. Strange. To the right, I saw some kind of dugout. Another drone was flying in, so I rolled in there and covered it with a net. I was already wounded, my ankle was damaged, shrapnel went straight through. In my thigh, just millimeters from an artery. It was bleeding, but not heavily. I was dizzy when I crawled into the dugout, took off my body armor, laid something down, put my anti-drone cloak under me, and just lay there, then passed out. I slept for a whole day, and then an Azov fighter found me. I honestly thought they were going to kill me right then and there. There was a young guy with them, also named Dmitri, maybe around 20. I can't remember exactly, but young like me. He came in and said their commander had ordered them to wipe me out. I was lying there, smoking, thinking, well, that's my last cigarette. But then he said, "Don't worry, you're fine. We're not going to do that. You're unarmed. What's the point? We'll just trade you for our guys."
There were 6 of us in total. 5 guys armed with rifles, grenades, all that. I was the only one carrying this completely empty anti-drone device. Just useless junk. I don't even know what it's called. I was the only one with that. I saw it was empty. Totally empty. 2 were behind us, the rest up front. I was just watching. In the end, I was the only one left alive. When they captured me, 3 of them came, a team of 3. They thought I had a weapon. When I heard them coming from a distance, I ran out shouting, "Don't shoot! I've got nothing, I won't do anything." "Are you sure?" "Sure." While I stood there with my hands behind my back, 2 of them went inside and checked. There really was nothing. Then, they took me to a basement, one after another, and later moved me through Kharkiv, and then here.
Honestly, it's scary. Really scary. When I signed the contract, I thought, war? What am I getting into? When you're a kid, you hold a toy gun. Now you're holding real weapons. I understood that, but I never imagined drones would be such a nightmare. Thank God the Lord saved me. Now I'm here, just waiting for a prisoner exchange to get home. After that, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I never end up back here in Ukraine. I don't want this anymore.
I'm just grateful they didn't kill me. Truly grateful. Right now, I'm just waiting. Or maybe not really waiting. I don't even know. I can't imagine what will happen when I get home. I just can't picture it. Maybe they'll exchange me. But then a week later, they'll drop me somewhere near the Sumy region, toss me into a field, and say, "Run." That's it. I honestly can't imagine what's waiting for me on the other side. I remember how they announced it at first. The special military operation to protect the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics, right? That's how it was presented to the world. The SMO is starting. So why then Kherson, Dnipro region? Why go further if the goal was to protect Donetsk and Luhansk from Nazism? I don't get it. Yeah, they've almost taken all of Luhansk, but what about Donetsk? Why not focus there? And now our troops are heading into the Sumy region? Why doesn't anyone want to liberate the rest of Donetsk? I don't see the point. I think about this every day. I've looked at it from the outside, and I still don't understand. Even when we came to Zaporizhzhia, I understood the people there perfectly. They told you to your face, spit at you. Why did you come here? We don't want to be Russian. We want to live like we used to. We don't want the Russian world. They'd say it right to your face, and I understood them completely.
War isn't like playing Counter-Strike on a computer. There, you respawn at checkpoints and keep playing. Here, there's no respawning. Once you're gone, that's it. You don't move anymore. This is especially true for the younger generation, 18 or 19-year-olds signing contracts and going to war thinking it's just a game. Thinking they can run around with sticks like when they were kids. No, it's not like that. This isn't Counter-Strike where you respawn and keep playing. Here, you get one chance and that's it.
The Insider's journalists continue their work despite pressure from Russian authorities. You can support them by liking this video, leaving a comment, and subscribing to our channel. If you'd like to further support their efforts, consider making a donation by clicking the link in the description below.